Now, hello students, in this video I am going to be derive refractive index of the prism. Refractive index formula for a prism. So to derive that, I had taken the prism, name it as PQR. The name of the prism is PQR and I considered the angle of the prism is A. Now I had taken one of the incident ray which is making angle of incidence I at the interface PQ of the prism. This is the normal, and this is my incident ray. The angle of incidence I consider as I1. Now the refracted ray will be make the angle R1 at the normal. Now at the interface PR, I am drawing the normal where the refracted ray is struck. That is normal, and the angle of incidence I consider as R2. Now I am drawing the emergent ray also. This ray is called emergent ray, and let us name it as MN. Now the angle between the emergent ray and normal is considered as I2, and also consider the refractive index of the prism is NP and NS is the refractive index of the surrounding medium. So the terminology included here, A is called angle of prism, and I1 is called angle of incidence, I2 is called angle of emergent. Next, Mn is called refracted ray. Mn is called refracted ray, and R1, R2 are the angles made by refracted ray inside the prism. Clear? And QR is the base of the prism. QR is the base of the prism. Now I am extending the path of the incident ray as it is, as well as I am extending the incident ray path as it is, as well as the emergent ray path in backward direction. So these two will be meet together. This angle I consider as angle of deviation, where O is called point of intersection of the incident ray and the emergent ray. What is the angle? Angle D is called angle of deviation. So here you will have the two triangles. First I will take triangle OMN. See how the OMN is formed. This is the incident ray and this is the direction of the emergent ray, and you got the refracted ray like this. This is the refracted ray MN and it will be the emergent ray. So here you got the O, here you will get the D. See, if you observe here, if you extend the incident ray and emergent ray, they will meet together at point O. And one more thing, I am also draw normals here. If you consider normal, it will be this one at N it will be this one. And also try to find out the angle of incidence. This will be I1 only. If you consider this angle and this angle also I1 only. Why? Because these two are the vertically opposite angles. The vertically opposite angles will be same. No? So this is the angle of emergent I2, and this angle will be equal to I2 only. And the angle between the refracted ray and normal is R1 I considered. In the similar way, the angle between the refracted ray and normal at the point N I will consider as R2. Now find out the angle M in the triangle OMN. It will be equal to I1 minus R1. In the similar way, the angle N inside the triangle OMN is I2 minus R2. If you observe, D is the exterior angle for the triangle. So the exterior angle D can be written as sum of the interior angles, opposite interior angles. This will be I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus R2. And you will have D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus I will take as common. You will get R1 plus R2. And let us consider this as equation 1. Now one more triangle is there. That triangle I am taking. The triangle is formed due to the phases of the prism P. Now I had taken the refracted ray M here. So now I am drawing the normal on the face P Q at the point M. It will be the normal, and it will be the normal, and the angle between the normal and the surface is 90 degrees. So here you will get 490 degrees like this, which I had shown in the figure, and this angle also will be equal to 90 degrees. And one more thing, the angle between the normal and the refracted ray at the surface PQ I consider as R1. So I am going to be find out this angle, interior angle in case of the triangle PMN. It will be equal to 90 minus R1. In the similar way, the interior angle in the triangle PMN at N will be equal to 90 minus R2. And the angle at the P is angle of the prism. And in triangle PMN, I am considering internal angle sum. So what is the internal angle sum? It will be equal to 180 degrees in any triangle. A is the internal angle at P, and 90 minus R1 is the internal angle at M. 90 minus R2 is the internal angle at N. The sum will be 180 degrees. Now 90 plus 90, 180 degrees, minus of R1 plus R2. I will take R1 plus R2. In R1 plus R2, in R1 R2 terms, I will take minus as common. At the RHS side, you will have 180. 180, 180 will get cancelled. Then you will have A equal to R1 plus R2. And let us consider this equation as 2. Now I am substituting. Now substitute equation 2 in 1. Then you will have D equal to I1 plus I2. In place of R1 plus R2, I will write A. And let us take this equation as 3. And during D minimum condition, in the previous class I explained you, during D minimum condition, angle of incidence will be equal to angle of emergent. The first conclusion is refracted ray is parallel to the base of the prism. If the refracted ray is parallel to the base of the prism, then what will happen? This is my prism P, Q, or incident ray refracted ray is parallel to the base of the prism. This is my emergent ray. So whenever you got the condition, you will get the angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergent. This is the second in conclusion. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergent. Let us take the angle of incidence equal to and angle of emergent equal to as I, and during this condition R1 will be equal to R2. So these two angles I consider as R. Now substitute these values in equation 3 and 4. So what is the equation, equation 2 and 3? What is the equation 2? You have the equation A is equal to R1 plus R2. It is equation 3. Now A can be written as R plus R. From this A equal to 2R. Therefore R can be written as A by 2. This is equation 2, not equation 3. And equation 3 you have, what is the equation 3 you have? You have D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus A. D is equal to I1 plus I2 minus A. So at D minimum condition I am substituting. In place of D I will write D minimum. In place of I1 and I2 I will write I plus I minus A. Now D minimum plus A is equal to 2I you will have. From this I can be written as A plus D minimum divided by 2. Let us take this equation as 4 and this equation as 5. Now I am applying the Snell's law at the interface PQ. So this is my incident ray, this is my normal, and it will be the refracted ray. The angle of incidence is I and the angle of refraction is R. And the refractive index of the prism I consider as NP, and the surrounding medium refractive index I consider as NS. Now I am applying the Snell's law here. As of Snell's law, it is the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction is equal to the refractive index of the refracted medium with respect to the refractive index of the incident medium. So the surrounding medium is the incident medium, its refractive index is NS, and NP is the refractive index of the refracted medium. So the prism is acting like the refracted medium. So the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction will be equal to the refractive index of the refracted medium NP divided by NS. So from 4 and 5, from 4 and 5, from 4 you will have R is equal to A by 2, I is equal to A plus D minimum by 2. Now I am substituting NP by NS is equal to sine I by sine R, which will be is equal to, in place of I what should you write? A plus D minimum divided by 2 whole divided by sine of A by 2. And if you compare, A will be equal to A plus D minimum by 2 and R will be equal to A by 2. And if surrounding medium is air, what is the nature of the surrounding medium? Surrounding medium is air, then Ns will be equal to 1. Let the refractive index of the prism you consider as N. Then you will have N by 1, which will be equal to, I am ignoring the sin I by sin R. Directly I am writing the formula sine of A plus D minimum divided by 2 whole divided by sine A by 2. Therefore, you will get the refractive index of the prism formula as N is equal to sine of A plus D minimum divided by 2 whole divided by sine A by 2. This is the formula where you should use the refractive index of the surrounding medium is air. Then only you should use this formula. If he mentioned the refractive index of the surrounding medium particularly, then you should use refractive index of the prism divided by refractive index of the surrounding medium, which will be is equal to sine of a plus d minimum divided by 2 whole divided by sine a by 2. And while solving numericals, you will have two types of numericals. In type 1, he mentioned a value, d minimum value. By means of that, you are going to be find out the refractive index of the prism. It is very simple. A you know, d you know, and a also you know. By substituting the values, in the equation, you will get the refractive index of the prism. In type 2 category, second category, he will give I and D minimum. By means of that, you need to find out A first, then after you need to find out the refractive index. So to find out that you should compare the equation n is equal to sine I by sine r is equal to sine of A plus D minimum divided by 2 whole divided by sine A by 2. After comparison, you will get I is equal to A plus D minimum divided by 2 and R is equal to A by 2. So substitute in this two equation, you will get A value, and after getting the A value, use the same formula, you will get sine of A plus D minimum divided by 2 sine A by 2. So that you are going to be find out the refractive index of the prism. And sometimes he won't give the angle of the prism. He will mention that equilateral prism. So in case of the equilateral triangle, what is the angle? By default, it will be equal to 60 degrees. It is our common sense to take the angle as 60 degrees. So this is about the derivation of the refractive index of the prism. The conclusions I am giving, n is equal to sine of a plus d minimum divided by 2 whole divided by sine a by 2. And for suppose you had given the surrounding medium, np by ns you will take. If he mentioned a and he didn't mention sine a and d minimum value, compare the equation with sine I by sine r. So take I is equal to a plus d minimum by 2 and r is equal to a by 2. I hope you all of you understood.